welcome back to DreamHack Masters Winter. We're gearing up for Cloud9 versus Team Spirit. This is their final battle of the group stage because the playoff place is at stake and the loser will be going home essentially empty-handed. But before we get onto that, let's get to you guys because it is time to prove how buff you are with sports buff. And I've got a question for you, so watch out for the extension in Twitch chat so you can have your say. And also, we've been doing some little polls as well. Thumbs up, thumbs down, is CS a dead esport, that kind of thing. So this is an easy question to start. Who did Team Liquid beat in the DreamHack Masters Dallas final last year? Was it FaZe, Furia, ENCE, G2, or Jeff Goldblum? Answers in the Twitch chat, please, my friends. I'm hoping you will get that one right, because if you don't, I will judge you, because that was the one where UPS didn't deliver the trophy on time. That is a massive hint if you ever saw one. But it was a very memorable event.
Yeah, you met Jeff Goldblum.
I did meet Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. It's in the world. It was in the world according to Disney Plus, and I was saying to the boys in the green room, I was just like, Jeff Goldblum's coming today. Do you want to meet him? And then everyone was just like looking at their phones, and like I was like, oh, okay, cool then, fine, okay. So then Jeff Goldblum turns up, and then I find myself casting a pistol round on you, even though I'm not a caster. Greatest moment of my life. And then like suddenly I look up and all of the rest of the DreamHack Masters talent are just like there staring at me, and I'm just having an out-of-body experience. And then later on, like Stunner was just like, so when are you going to introduce me to your friend Jeff? And I was just like, well,
missed that shot.
Missed that boat.
You missed your chance, mate. You missed your chance. You spurned him, and Jeff doesn't forget. Let's take a look at the bracket for group number A. It's not really technically a number, but shh. All right, Spirit versus Cloud9, that's what we're deciding first. And the winner of this will go up against Gambit. And then we've also got Heroic's future competitor is either going to be Complexity or FaZe. So that will be on the B stream, so twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2 if you want to check out that one. But I have a feeling quite a lot of you lot want to know how Cloud9 is going to do. So do keep your eyes on us, please, because I've asked you very, very nicely. And I've also asking you to tell us who you think is going to win this one. So use the hashtags on screen right now to have your say. Hashtag C9, hashtag Spirit. I'm not going to ask your predictions yet. We're gonna leave this a while, even though I know you're incredibly biased. So let's start off by talking about Cloud9. Cloud9, they had a terrible T-side on Dusty. It was a disaster, and Alex was ill. But is that enough of an excuse?
Yeah, what was funny about that is I think if I was sick, I would expect to keep up my job calling, but then not get 50 kills. That seems like that would be the hard part. Yeah. So hopefully his illness has subsided at least somewhat, and he's just feeling a bit better. But again, if you could put up a performance like that, which is so far his best map on record with the new Cloud9, then they should be okay. I mean, I don't know.
I should establish that that was the match against ENCE. That was the last time we saw Cloud9 perform. They could have closed it after 20 rounds. Instead, we went to 48. They did manage to get it done, but they definitely struggled in the game against Gambit as well, Scrawny. And I don't feel like Alex should have to pop off because they've got Woxic and they've got Floppy.
Yeah, sure. And they've got Woxic, they've got Floppy, and they've got Estetag. And those three pieces right there.
And Mezzy?
I won't forget about Mezzy, but if we're talking highest rated players are the three of Estetag, Floppy, and Woxic. So we're going to watch them do what they do. And then Mezzy, well, he's going to find his form. You know, listen, he's the least experienced of the five. So let's watch him start churning through, and I think we are seeing improvements from him. But I think what happened there was Alex, you know, if he was functioning at 50% brain power, he had to either put it in fragging or calling, and we definitely put it into the fragging department. You know, we saw them get out long A, and this is what he himself specified, was that they got out onto long A with that Dust 2 game, but then just didn't make a further decision, right? They had options, 3 separate protocols they could have gone through, none of which he seemed to call. So who does then become more vocal? Is it going to be Estetag? Should it be Sodded in their ears? You know, those are the things that they need to figure out as they go through the motions of being this new team, right? Have they ever faced a day where Alex wasn't able to make his calling on point as well as his fragging? Well, if that was the first test of it, And maybe today, if he is still under the weather, they're going to face that issue a second time, and they're already prepared for just one person to say one thing so that they can get that one round that would have made the difference in our triple OT bender.
Listen, there is a lot on the line with Cloud9 because Alex said if they win the Masters, then he'll put the Santa hat on just for me. And we'll see actually if the Santa hat I'm talking about is in his background right now because we caught up with Alex to find out what's going on in Camp Cloud9.
The game against Sense was messy. Everything went as we expected. We knew what they were going to do. Everything went to plan. After that, because we were so far in the lead and I was feeling ill during the game, my calls were terrible. As much as I was fragging, my calls were horrendous, so it was very hard to...
And eventually we'll die. The spray from Alex is good. Oh my god! 3 to win the round to tie it up at 23-23 and keep Cloud9 alive.
Team Spirit are a very good team and they rely a lot on individual plays, but they also have a good team structure. So they have a hard combination to face. I think now we have a bit more experience against that kind of team. We won't slip up twice if we had to play Spirit.
He's absolutely right. It's an incredibly tough combo in terms of Team Spirit. They do have that individual aggression, but they're a lot more coordinated than some of their opponents may think. How would you describe the Spirit approach to Counter-Strike?
Yeah, I would just describe it as kind of a fluid and tricky default. Like on the T side, they do some standard stuff, holding and stuff like that. They play relatively slow. It's almost like an avant-garde style of CS, I'd say, where, and I say avant-garde because they're a little bit more quick about their T sides now, but they'll perform types of aggressive lurks. Like, it doesn't seem like you need to call on that team when you want to make a move, and it seems like they trust everyone to make those moves, which makes it a bit scary, and I think, as Kirby mentioned, makes it so that they're kind of a hard team to prepare for.
Do you think Cloud9 will be prepared for Spirit this time around?
I think they should be. I think that Cloud9 kind of powered up a little bit with that victory over top of ENT, and I think that Cloud9 should be able to beat Spirit in this one. I think they've got the individuals to do it. They are the more experienced roster. I think this could be one of their hardest tests yet in terms of the DreamHack Masters run. You know, Cloud9 cost a lot more. That's one of the biggest difference between these two teams to me, right? Spirit, they believe in their project. We had that interview with SDY talking about how, you know, this team sees themselves as a 5 moving forward to accomplish the best of the best when it comes to winning games in Counter-Strike. Cloud9 are also a long-term project because of how much it costs to put them all together. So, you know, Team Spirit, this is a challenge for them. They are very much the challenger, but Cloud9 are not perfect, and I think they're going to know that, and I think they can exploit it.
Here's something I've noticed from watching a few Spirit games. Their CT sides, sometimes they get a lot from exploring and pushing their enemies. Sometimes they leave massive holes, probably as a result of the former. Is that something that Cloud9 are going to be able to exploit today?
Something they have to do is they have to be able to trust Mir to be like free, right? They have to make some of these plays because they do have the individuals to make the plays. And I think, as was referenced, this balance, maybe he could take the leash off a little bit and go for some more aggressive plays. I personally think he does a good job. I see the impact there, but maybe he gets in his own head when he's not having a great game right off the bat. But in general, of course, I always believe that if you're going to buy the op for a team, like, that player should be able to try to take over the round at least some of the time. Maybe he doesn't always have that impact. So it might actually be a symptom of kind of sitting back a little bit too much and then opening up parts of the map because of that.
And Balance does that particularly when he's up against another AWPer that he really admires. And Watsik is definitely an intimidating AWPer to go up against. But we spoke to Balance's teammate, Magix, and Coach Lau's superfan to find out what's going on with Spirit.
They triple swing in from short. Nico getting one of the Deagles down, delivering on the scout, and the kills keep coming through. The bomb has to get planted. Magix now into a 1v3. Clutch is lined them up, and there it is.
It was like the games of luck, I can say, because there was a lot of crazy rounds in overtime.
Alongside Sound, right? So you've got Tessus
playing Cloud9 in our next match will be exciting for both of us. They're a new team with new players, some of them, and it will be really interesting to face them.
Walks out. How does he land that second kill?
So unfortunately, we didn't get to cover that match against Heroic, but that was where they had a pretty terrible CT side. And then the T side for both Heroic and for Spirit was I don't think anyone really knew what was going on. I think they both picked up 3 T rounds and then they went to 4 overtimes. 4 overtimes.
Yeah. I personally think that Spirit can be a tier 1 team in a few months. Like, I don't regard them as a tier 2 team. I think it was either put up by like Chad or Maniac just on Twitter that like sometimes you watch them play versus the tier 1 team and they make the tier 1 team, I think it was versus FaZe one day actually, and they made them look like a tier 1 team and their opponents look like a tier 2 team. So I think they have some stuff to figure out about how to be flexible enough to match up to different kinds of competition. That's why they don't look good. Sometimes they look great other times. But when they look great, you see they're capable of it, and they have so many good players on the roster. I can see why they don't even think about making a roster move.
So, Magix, given that he is a bit of a fan of your demos, and you've done quite a lot of Cloud9 you've made a lot of Cloud9 ones. Yeah. What kind of information will they have picked up?
Tons. I mean, I've literally watched like overall games. I've watched individuals on Cloud9. I've done Alex, Floppy, Mezzy. I've done ESSATAG. I've done whole halves. So there's a lot there if he actually watches the videos. That it would just be. I mean, you should be watching the demos anyways, right? Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that he's studying demos because a lot of people don't.
But I have a feeling now that Spirit might have the upper hand just because of you. It's your fault.
Could be. I haven't done a lot of Spirit content, so that might be a struggle if Cloud9 rely on those.
I think you might have to start doing that.
Yeah.
Just to make it fair. All right, map vetoes, boys. So I'm just trying to see what we haven't seen from Cloud9 yet. We haven't seen them play Train because of ban it. That's pretty obvious. They've not won on Inferno yet. They played it twice.
This is where Spirit should attack them for sure. Like, not the highest win rate for them, but I think there's obvious problems with Cloud9 on Inferno, and I think Spirit have some reps on the map, and you know what's really impressive about the team is that they play every map a lot besides Vertigo. So I think this actually works out kind of well for Cloud9 as well as it works out well for Spirit. Spirit going to be more well organized and prepared for more situations on the 6 remaining maps. And Cloud9, they kind of want to avoid Vertigo now too, I think. They've been tweeting out that they hate Vertigo. Floppy said he hated Vertigo. Even though he's played well on it, I think they may not have an affinity for it. And we're going to see the Cloud9 map will develop to where they want to lean and where they don't. But this means we could have a competitive 3-map series because the remaining maps they have in common. I think the only one that leans heavily or more towards Spirit before the match starts for me is Inferno.
So you're thinking Inferno, Squanny, what are you thinking? Maybe Dust 2?
Dust 2, maybe a Mirage. Dust 2, Mirage, and Inferno. I would like that a 3-map pool.
Like the way I look at it is like Cloud9 could pick Dust 2 for them, so they could, and they're probably not going to ban it, I wouldn't assume. So they could have that there. And I think Cloud9 might be a little bit worried about their Inferno, or they might feel like they put in a lot of work in it after the recent games. So, of course, standard bans here. We're going to have the Train and Vertigo out, and then the picked maps. I expect Spirit either pick Dust 2 or... Okay, they go for Dust 2. Cloud9 pick Nuke. Very fine pick by Dust 2. Very fine pick by Cloud9. I think their Nuke is strong.
I honestly thought that was around the other way then. I was thinking that Spirit had picked Nuke and Cloud9 had picked Dust 2, but it makes sense.
Yeah, they leave it in. Okay, yeah, Inferno goes. So Spirit get the Inferno at the end. I'm surprised Cloud9 banned Mirage. I think it is a map to be afraid of when it comes to Spirit, but Cloud9's Mirage is pretty fantastic, and their Mirage is better than their Inferno so far, but maybe they don't think so. Maybe they thought their complexity result was a one-off.
All right then, boys. Predictions. Your favorite time of the day?
Well, Inferno's third. I'll take Cloud9 in 2 here. I think overall, the team is really strong at the moment. I think this is an uphill battle for Team Spirit. Though I think if it goes to 3, we could talk about a Spirit victory.
I think Alex's calls should be a little bit more crisp today. I don't know if we're going to get that kind of crazy performance out of him as well. I think Spirit are going to be very real challengers in this series, but I'm going to select Cloud9.
Any more mistakes this time, Frankie?
I've shot myself in the foot because I declared on social media that I would never not predict Cloud9 in the month of December. So I have to say Cloud9.
But you want to say Spirit? Is that what you're saying? Double dipping again?
I'm not double dipping this time, mate. It's very unhygienic in 2020 to double dip. So let's find out what Twitch chat is saying.
Understandable.
81% though.
Yeah, Twitch chat's a bunch of trolls though. Remember, there's always the 20% troll factor, and if you shave 20% off of that, you get a 60-40, which I think is far more fair.
I like those odds. I like those stats, and I really love to see Cloud9 and Team Spirit. So let's find out what happens when they go up against each other, shall we? place in the playoffs is at stake here, and Cloud9's reputation is on the line as they go up against Team Spirit, a team that no one in this tournament should underestimate. We are heading to Nuke first. This is Cloud9's map pick. Any reason as to why you think they've chosen this particular map?
I think your first map in the series should be a map you believe in, regardless of how strong you think the other players are, the other team is. Like, that's why we saw, you know, G2 pick Mirage into Furia, why that happens so often. It's just the third map is a map you might both be kind of decent at, and that's why Inferno gets there a lot, the 50% win rate map for everybody. But on Nuke, they like it, they think they're good at it, and that's what they want to focus on, and I respect that.
We've also seen them start a lot of series here on Nuke. It's kind of been the go-to for Cloud9. So their stepping stone, their first stepping stone in this series versus Spirit.
Spearies?
Man, I'm going to get caught on that. Watch now. This is the warning. Series and Spirit are two words that'll get mixed up 1725 times.
1725 sounds like a police command.
Get my counter out.
Yeah.
Code red.
And the cops are on full alert here. Doubling up on the ramp. In upstairs as well. Cloud9 just pretending here that they're going into a default, but it's back upstairs.
Yeah, they're going to burst up onto the hut. It's SDY with the CZ for a little bit of damage. No kill, though. Very clean entry from Cloud9.
Man, their upper explode is actually really good.
Bust right out the doorways. Smoke grenades begin to fade. No kit currently on the play. Two members of Cloud9 stay in the back of the site. And, well, it's how do they get out of heaven? It's one of the big questions. Maybe Mir can alleviate a little bit of pressure, take away some attention, and take away some kills. But ultimately, Cloud9 close with two members alive.
They gave him a few chances there to get back into it. Those last couple of duels definitely could have gone the way of the CTs. They tried to pull the pin early and take the fights, but Cloud9 win. And again, they just have good cohesion on their upper explodes. I think a big strength of this team is so far their executes look better than some teams that are very tenured. I'm kind of surprised at how well they have gone. So that's something that keeps up. That's good. But it looks like the dry runs are going well.
Top firepower. Mir has more opening kills and iJSpan has more AWP kills than anyone else at the tournament. And that really doesn't surprise me, particularly where Mir is concerned.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I guess we've got, you know, surprising, I guess, with Cadian, maybe with Device as a couple of the other operas. But yeah, no Zuma, no Simple. So that's pretty cool. iJSbalance has definitely shown his value, and as you mentioned, Mir as well.
Wild about that. Stop. It's also, you know, a 2-0 loss and a 2-0 win. So those stats with only 4 maps played.
True. True.
SMG's up from Spirit. MP9, yes. MP5, ugh. We'll see. It's a personal choice, the SMG, but I do have my opinions.
I think the MP9 is objectively better than the MP5. I'm with you all the way. It's cheaper too. It's just it's really good. Of course, Mir is probably going to make it look great. Just kidding. Mac 10 bests him. $1,000 weapon here on the T side. Turns it sideways and puts Mir in the dirt. Now the CTs will get even more frisky, even more curious walking into the hut.
And we can talk about Mir. We can talk about iJSbalance, but SDY is another member of Spirit that I think is just kind of sitting back, letting his teammates do the work, but he is so capable. Very talented player, was once the star of Spirit, and is currently the longest standing member.
He's a long boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a real tall boy, just like you.
I'm an absolute cool noodle. SDY, some know, was on the short list at one point. It was rumored to be on the short list to join Na'Vi. But we saw in the interview, he's very, very committed to the idea of Spirit. And that makes me committed to Spirit. I like a team that believes in themselves, no matter what their level is. I think that's extraordinary to see. And of course, just within the CIS region alone, you could be the 3rd or 4th best team and still be competitive internationally. That's how dense this region is. Denser than a coconut.
Aren't they hollow?
Yesterday I said bag of Pringles.
Yeah, right. I didn't.
I had like 4 people tweet me. I was like, after that amazing game, you're going to tweet me that I accidentally said bag of Pringles?
You know, I caught that, didn't call you out, didn't want to. But I'm glad somebody did. Got to keep you honest, Mo.
Denser than a coconut. That's a good one. It's
the Connorisms that are coming into your life now. Yeah. I'm infectious. Don't laugh at me.
You did it on purpose.
There's a scout in the hands of iDisbalance, and there's damage versus Woxic, but Floppy's going to very quickly get that first kill. Alex is Mac 10 making the money here. They just flood into this A site. You said their A pops are strong. Well, in the pistol, it was an even fight. In this one, yet again, very explosive from Cloud9, but really just bullying the lackluster weaponry of Spirit. Magix will find one, but Woxic trades it. What about this scout? What's it going to do? What's it have to offer us? And how or when do Team Spirit take back this early 3-round lead?
I really want the etymology of iDisbalance's name. It sounds like an iPhone product you'd get at a kiosk in a mall or something, like a case brand. There's a few names. It's Lollipop 21K. Usually it's like, 2K1 or something like that. What is the etymology of these names? That's what I want to know. And Magix, in the interview, he said that his favorite player was Shox.
Yes.
And, he's got a couple X's in his name. I was thinking there maybe he had some influence in his name from Shox as well. He's doing him proud, man. Magix is actually a super solid rifler. Shades of Yuri for me with how his skills go. Fitting into the lineup really well. Now we're going to go into the full buy. We've got a couple of upper explodes that have come at Spirit, gone well for Cloud9. Important CT round to keep the economy stable afloat. But there's a big concession with iDisbalance just on the scout. A little bit scary. Whoa, Magix actually drops early. This is interesting. What's spurring this rotation? S-Tech gets a kill as well. iDisbalance, this is where the scout becomes a problem.
Yep, if that was an op, he would still be alive, and Floppy would be dead instead. So the scout does not pay off, and Magix, he's just been relegated down to the B site where nobody ends up coming. Some die young. 2 kills with the M4, but S-Tag just creeps his way out from the rafters, and this is Cloud9 looking like a 4th on the board. Magix evacuates down to the B site before he ever takes a gunfight. That does draw iDisbalance into holding it with the scout. Mohan, if the scout and the M4 were there to combine, I would believe in it a lot more so than just leaving the scout on its own.
Yeah, so it's just a rotation. So we didn't see it, but I'm assuming that there was pressure outside on Secret, and then Magix got a call that said that we need a lower rotate in case they go control without us knowing. And then, of course, what happens is the next natural rotation is for the scout to come to Turnpike and take over ramp. But I don't think at that point they actually knew a ramp hit was coming. So it looked like the scout was late and Magix left early. But it could have been because of that info play outside towards Secret, where I think there was actually just a lurk into Big Garage, but they didn't know it quite yet. So that's why sometimes you want to play a player in Secret, because then you learn right away. Even if you lose the duel, you learn right away if they're actually planning to go Secret or not. But see, they do throw the cross smokes to cause a bit of confusion.
It's S-Tag playing outdoors very well. Being a nuisance early on, so now iDisbalance has an op. But obviously his teammates don't have nearly as much to work with.
That's an awkward thing, isn't it?
It's crazy, right?
It ruins their chances kind of in both rounds. Almost.
Better go big.
Yeah.
Or be able to go home. We'll see if Cloud9 can actually kill everyone. At least he does have Magix to kind of support him. And he is also taking an initiative here, trying to find one inside of lobby. It's very often you'll find Floppy in here on his own. But at the current moment, Floppy is standing on the rooftops. So he's giving away the control to Team Spirit. That's going to be information for them. But at any moment, Floppy could come back down here. We see that initial B push turn into a re-rotate over towards their own spawn. And Woxic is already in here. So despite having that AWP, no control outdoors, no information outdoors, and no expectations of having Woxic and Alex this close to the A site.
Yeah, imagine they certainly not going to leave the op in front of the smoke at Turnpike when they could push to it, right? Woxic looks like he's pushing through into ramp. So we'll just take an early duel. MP9 versus AK. He's down to his last few bullets. Only a couple left. He'll have to reload. Mir stays alive. Floppy grabs a kill. And these are just consolation kills as everyone's getting melted on the CT side. And this will be very telling if he chooses to upgrade or not. Sometimes this is just a lot of control taken by Cloud9 and used effectively. Like, they get the wrap outside while Spirit go inside, but instead of just playing the guessing game continuously, they slowly work on map control to wrap all the way around through ramp, and that's when they finally meet a CT waiting for them.
Floppy is still on the roof, now coming downwards. Estetag almost giving himself over to Magix. The AWP for Woxic comes at no cost because that was taken away from iDisbalance. So not only do Team Spirit not have the op in what could have been a crucial moment in that first buy, but now they've gone ahead and offered it over to Cloud9, really giving them a further chance at running away with momentum. 5-0 the start to the T side, immediate rebuy for another op. At least he will have it this time, iDisbalance. A first full gun round from Team Spirit. Let's see if it's enough to stop Cloud9 or whether 6-0 is inbound. First frag found. It is Estetag to hit the dirt.
So important to deny that vent drop as soon as possible. That is just sweat off the brow here for Team Spirit. But they'll look to walk out and try to get a lurk frag in response. Alex is here to fight the top of the hut. Floppy's going to wait for the smoke to go down. But look at the pressure.
Floppy with the first one, mere immediate trade. We've got two M4s trying to clamp down on this. It's bomb control that they have ahead of them. Mezzi waiting for the smoke to fade. Mir, he's on the other side, but he looks away, Mezzi, and that's a mistake. Team Spirit looking to stabilize. Woxic, the only player really left alive because Alex has a single point of health. Obviously bottoming out the bank accounts for this purchase. Team Spirit, every player who can survive here is so important. And there's 50 seconds still for Alex to try and hunt them down. If iDisbalance misses this shot in mini, he could fall to Alex. Oh, and Alex, sure enough, he finds that one. Now the two M4s that were just next to the bomb have to back up ever so slightly.
Whoa, yeah, this is weird actually, because I mean the bomb is in such a spot that they want to make sure it doesn't get vent dove. So they can't just leave it out in the open. They've got to kind of check on it every once in a while. You can see how the CTs feel pressure to look, but they will be rewarded finally with this peek from SDY, finding a good timing and spray on Woxic, leaving Alex to roam around. He is flanking the lobby, trying to stay alive, and he was last spotted outside mini, so he should be safe in here. Hopefully for Spirit. Spirit do not have the money to chase. They definitely do not want to get opt in this exit situation. Surprised to see Alex take a peek, but at the same time, he can afford it. Look at the amount of money that Cloud9 have in this game right now. Woxic on 13K, everybody else above 10, and Alex at 8,200 with an op in his hands. If he liquidated that, brought it to the pawn shop, he'd still be over 10K.
Incredibly strong start economically for Cloud9, so a little bit of momentum. Team Spirit, they were facing that 2 versus 4. If Woxic gets an additional kill, then Alex was wrapping around to try and maybe come in from heaven. They did have a chance to skewer it, despite his low HP. Let's see if they can convert to a second. Chopper. He's got a lot of players right on the other side of this. Door swings, Mezzi in the same corner that he died last time, and well, the door comes inward. Mezzi gonna turn his back over to Mini. Woxic nails the shot, and so does Estetag. Immediately into the 4 versus 1. You said it in the pistol. Cloud9 have a strong A pop.
They do. They put pressure on. I actually really like Chopper's position because he can shoot. He has a deeper angle on the right side where people are lining up their nades, and then he can spam and fall down vent, also deny the vent dive from falling in. But he eats a flash, so the protocols are good there for Cloud9. He misses a bit of his spray, and then he gets into panic mode and goes to try to close the door to deny that smoke from coming out. And I think I like that Spirit are trying to attack Squeaky head on, and I think it's a good idea. But of course, if you can't get the kills, you know, Chopper is 0-7 at the moment. Not exactly pristine performance at this point in the game. But if I'm Cloud9, I continue to rinse their pockets on Squeaky, test them as much as possible. And here is the op that tried to be saved, denied in the last seconds of the round. So very strong start here from Cloud9 from a number of perspectives.
This is that hit real quick. Estetag double kill.
I think Astralis showed us that like Squeaky pressure can be something you do, you know, 15 out of 15 T rounds. Even if you don't necessarily get a kill, it's just such a strong spot to try to find 50-50 duels.
So C9 have the best flash assist rate in the tournament with a 0.38 flash assists per round. You know, it's funny, that's something that they've actually transitioned over. Even when Cloud9 was the North American team.
A little bit of floppy there.
Right, a little bit of floppy in there, because as much as you want to talk about NACS with a negative tone.
SACS.
Yeah.
Shit.
Cloud9 were always a team that put up those flash stats.
Yeah.
So maybe it's in the logo, maybe it's in their team spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
And this team spirit Well, coming in with just some pistols.
And it was such a relevant stat to that round as well. We saw a Chopper died, didn't really stand a chance. Mir roaming around aimlessly, blindfold on inside the smoke with a deagle, and he'll cut two, find a deagle shot or two as well. Alex will get tagged down to less than half health, and it's a decent start for the pistols.
What are those rumblings? Who could that be?
Little Hermione has popped up.
What's up, Frank?
Nothing much, nothing much. Just had some food, watched you guys cast the game.
Damn, eh? Cloud9 off to a flying start.
They really are.
Big Franks.
They're going for yet another A execute.
They did go for a few. It looks like it might, maybe they'll try it again, although starting to turn over towards ramp. They've been really good on the anti-ecos, which is kind of surprising for Cloud9, because they have gotten ecoed a hell of a lot here at DreamHack Masters.
Flash Chopper double kill from the deagle, still alive here. Woxic's on half health. He decides not to try and press that issue. Team Spirit, this would be such a great way for them to kick off a little bit of a CT comeback. And Woxic, well, his back is going to be pushed by 2 from Team Spirit. He walks forward into the site, sees the man on Mini, and he doesn't know what's coming next, but that Molotov is on the money. And if he dives vents, he is good to go. They could very well give chase. 15 seconds left.
Oh, they're waiting. Oh my God,
yeah.
He's screwed now.
He didn't open the second door.
Yeah, he'll go for the plant, but it's a Hail Mary. He'll plant for control side, which is great. He could get spammed. Yeah, not deep enough, and Woxic will get punished. That would have been a big mistake from Spirit to chase too quickly, but there was no reason to do it as we saw. So instead, Spirit will actually, as I mentioned it, commentator curse, I guess, talk about how Cloud9 have done a great job not getting ecoed, get straight up ecoed right after that.
First push, of course, comes off of Mir next to the base of Silo, and then this was the big one. You know, Mir's kill really just slowed down Cloud9 a bit. Choppers shut them down. Ooh, but it's another quick push. They're going to come right back into the A site. Let's see it. Chopper's going to deliver another 2K SDY from the top of Hut. And Esatag to the back of the vent now. 3 kills from SDY off the top of Hut. We've got Team Spirit starting to stabilize.
Much better. Like, they throw the nade. They throw the nade specifically off the vent for that rush. It's on a timing, so it doesn't go in the door. The nade hits the corner of the vent, comes out. I think there was one that could have landed in the vent as well. And this is just to punish this entirely. Like, HE grenades are so underrated just because you have nade smoke for cover, you tag and slow, and you do impact damage, and more than Molotovs, you do all the damage at once. So there's tons of value there, and they're really, really good at stopping rushes. And the slowing effect just denies entries all the time. Something new for Cloud9. They'll decide to walk towards Secret this time around. Mere jump spotting. Team Spirit don't have information. The last time this happened, they got a bit antsy.
Mir, if this smoke fades, man.
He's just trying to make sure. It should be his own smoke, so...
Played it to a T. Frag grenade doesn't find a single tick of damage. Cloud9 got that extra Kevlar.
Okay, so these are good rotations here from Magix. And now, since there's no ramp pressure, these positions are not quite as threatened.
He's going to go ahead and anchor himself behind the dark. 45 seconds.
I like everything except for a CT not going ramp here.
Gets called out. Perfect.
Ooh.
Into the crosshair of Alex. Mir, though, element of surprise, still dies. And we are looking at a 5 versus 3 that Team Spirit don't even want to try their hands at.
That is kind of surprising, because everything works out well for the CTs in the perspective they get the info fast enough, they're in lower fast enough, they have dedicated spots in lower, they're not just sitting in Molotovable or smoked out positions. Apart from Magix who gets red in dark, that was one big kill. But for both kills to go down, no kills the way of Team Spirit, that's pretty scary. I think, again, the only thing would be that there was a player, Turnpike, who might not have known for sure it was going to be lower, who could have dropped ramp and then helped out. But if 2 teammates die downstairs without getting a kill, it's not anyone else's fault.
Oh, is going to be kept here. Esatag tries desperately to clear the entire board. We've seen Team Spirit win with less than this, but that Molotov calls out Magix perfectly.
With a flash assist and a Molotov and a peek combined with it. It's all wrapped up into one with a bow on top.
Yeah, poor Magic's absolutely surgically removed from his position. By no means was that a bad position to get into. So let's see it. Buy up from Team Spirit. Idis Balance immediately called by the Molly. We've got a player on top of Mini. Despite it being engulfed in flames, Mezzi finds a quick lane behind it. And then we've got a hot clash inside of the A site itself. Idis Balance with the sidearm finding another kill, but it's the bomb plant for Cloud9 that explode into the A site off of the back of two players pushing outdoors. Mezzi had some really cool pathing going on Mini. He runs behind the Molotov. Didn't look like he was taking any damage, but the play's not done because Magix wants some. He's going to be able to extend out from heaven. We've got a health advantage even here for the CT side, but losing his teammate means he loses the round. Alex wraps back above him. Cloud9, 8-3 here on the T side.
They're going back to what works with these upper explodes, but they combine it with an outside pressure, and the timings of it are really difficult to get around, right? Because every time Cloud9 have thrown outside smokes, it's been slow, a delayed hit, either a fake, a late ramp, something super late. This time they do something a bit faster upstairs, and they just avoid some of those early grenades. So they recognize that Spirit have made adaptations to upstairs in terms of stopping their fast squeaky pressure. They respect it, and now they attack it from a new perspective, but they still want to attack it because they've been really strong about getting those entries.
Mezzi is 364th in the UK for prize money winnings. His employer, Henry G, is 222, I guess, from like the CGS when he was, back in the day, he was playing Source on that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, Henry's one of the best players in Europe in Source, right?
I think so.
I think that's the case. I mean, I didn't play that abomination of a game, but that's what I've heard.
And it doesn't make you respect Henry any less.
Although,
wow, S-Tag's been really crafty about finding these kills outside.
And Idis Balance now looking at the top of Silo like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, was I supposed to watch that? Shoot. My bad, guys. That's tough. Of course, Idis Balance, you're patrolling. You're like looking between two angles. There's going to be gaps, but that might have been a big one.
My God, how do four players cross his line of sight, and he manages to skim a shot through them? That legitimately looked like it could have been like a three-player collateral at one point. And now suddenly all the kills coming in, but the Mag 7 downstairs. It goes down after a single kill comes in. Cloud9 standing with 4. S-Tag's 3-piece outdoors works wonderfully. Poor Idis Balance losing his teammate and then losing his own head as Mezzi is the last man left to come around that red box. Cloud9, masterful T-side thus far.
It really is. Yeah, they're keeping it super simple. They're making it look really easy, and it should look easy. Like, this is, I don't want to make any rash comparisons, but this is like, if another team's not playing well enough, you can say, oh, this team is not good enough to play, but you also have to give credit to the fact that so far, every adjustment that's been made has made a lot of sense from the perspective of what Team Spirit have put up in defense. When it comes to stopping the fast squeaky stuff, Cloud9 respected it. They're starting to work outside more. They started to not do the fast stuff. Their game plan has evolved, and their early game plan that has been adapted to is no longer relevant. Spirit now have to look for new answers, and this is a sign of a healthy T-side.
Seems like Alex is feeling better.
He's probably like, I'm still sick, guys.
Give me more credit.
Oh, we lost that round. I'm sick.
Is that your British accent?
I know, I'm just sick. Alex is pretending it's his Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Idis Balance sees the shadow. Easy execution. Will they anticipate Mir to also be back here? That's a good question. We've also got Magix trying to set that crossfire. S-Tag just cleaning him up, man. 3 kills for him versus these pistols, and SDY is going to make this one a little interesting. If we're talking deagle damage, then the... Oh! Magix tucks his head down just after he rattles off that shot. And let's see it, Alex. 14-5. 2 players left to topple, both of which with AKs and Kevlar. Not to mention a smoke and a Molotov, but no kit. He plays on top of whatever the hell these things are, and then he hears them. So He tucks a little further back. They're just going to try to play the trade train. They hesitate. Molotoving off. Magix remembers what was done to him. Now they're going to try to come back to the double doors, and it's through the life preserver that he almost finds himself the clutch. But another round that Team Spirit have no business winning. That now makes up half of their total round count. The deagle from Magix onto Silo. That's the cherry on top.
Yeah, that was a big one. Nice trade by Sumdayoung coming through into control. Could very easily lose that, and we wouldn't have batted an eyelash. Here's a couple of good kills from your boy Magix with the look away.
Oof.
With the look away as well.
Just dab it on him.
Go on then. That's British, right? You guys say that?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah. Team Spirit will have to continue to get after it here on CT side, though. Of course, as you mentioned, Connor, it's 2 rounds. Half of the rounds have been ecos.
9-6 best case scenario for Spirit. Little peek from 3. There's a player on top of Mini as well. Woxic starts this show. Eye disbalance, able to find 1 before he falls back. He gets replaced by Magix, but then he actually comes with him towards the other side of ramp. So hell to ramp room is actually so open for the taking. Team Spirit trying to get on the opposite side of the A site, anticipating what could be and what should be this inner hit. Ooh.
There's someone looking here. Okay, they're being prepared though. Like this from Essetag.
Yeah, he hits the smoke from the top of the stairs. Goes one better. Falls down into the site. He's really looking to contend with these 3 players from Spirit.
Oh,
He's already got one to the left though. Doesn't see it fast enough. He gets chopped down.
Rops would have got that kill. You know why? Because he's on native. That's all I'll say about that one.
That's all you need to say.
2 on 4. We've got vent control.
Ooh, sound made. Woxic kind of turns his head back. The other 3 players from Spirit all coming down from ramp. So this little bit of an audio cue before Chopper goes silent. Could have worked out wonderfully. Distracts for the first one, confirms Mezzi's position. Let's see it. He's going to go right back up over to Secret, loses his head. Chopper with a 4K here in a crucial round, a 5th for Spirit, and still 1 to go.
And this is the face of the man who went 0-0-7 in this half to start things out. So a huge bounce back in performance. Always want to give kudos to players who don't kind of incessantly press tab and think about how they're destined to have a bad day. Chopper can show that you can bounce back in the same half, in fact, and put on a show. Team Spirit looking for 6, but they'll be glad to get it. You know, they'll have stuff to talk about here on CT side, but when that half is over, all that's going to matter is how many rounds you got. So what is the final strategy? We got the outside smokes with, it looks like a default heading in this direction. They've been good at finding kills out here, and there'll be an attempt on the displacement of the smoke, but I think they're still connected perfectly. There might be a small gap to scare Cloud9, but let's see if it results in a kill. An opportunity for eye disbalance. He misses a second as well. It looked like a good shot. And Chopper will continue on with his 10th kill, I believe.
2 kills though, 2 kills coming in from mid. Yet again, they hit this A site. It's that delayed mid play. Once they show a little presence outside, we saw an exactly similar round from Cloud9 added to their scoreboard. Yes, I said it. What does it mean? Nobody knows. But Cloud9 take their 10th, doubling the round count before they swap over to the defensive half of this first map. It was theirs for the choosing. A very tasteful first T side from Cloud9 here on Nuke. Team Spirit, well, they were wined and dined, and now they've got to perform. It's going to be a hell of a handful as they take to the offense.
Quietly, Essetag is a gem on this map, and so far we're seeing that in a couple of series now. Last time it was on a CT side versus Complexity. This time it's been on T side versus Spirit, and we have yet to see if he can couple that up with a nice CT side versus Spirit as well. Spirit have their work cut out for them. Nice recovery at the end, but they dropped that last round and now need a pistol.
2 of their 5 rounds by way of defuse. Team Spirit very consistently getting themselves on site, Cloud9. Kill coming in for Woxic, make it a double. Chopper, he's going to challenge into the site itself alongside iDisbalance. That's 2 of the 3 Ts. They are all, in fact, over here, but what they don't have is a bomb.
Oh, it's getting camped.
Yeah, 2 CTs on top of it, but one of which just got his head popped. Mezzy, it's your turn to deliver, and nice I love the reposition. Moves along, SDY comes to take his bomb, and Alex, all the while...
Oh, this is a very interesting rotation. So Mezzy's going to get out fast, and I think he's actually looking to come down the vent afterwards, or potentially go for a ramp, wait this round out to see if a play is going to be made, let Alex take the keys for the moment, and the bomb cannot be punished back of the site, but Alex will cut him off at the pass.
SDY, 11 kills, 1 assist, 11 deaths. And now he needs to be the one that they rely on for this second pistol, but he gets wrecked by Alex. Dude, Alex has got some really gross, grimy ways of just slipping off and then coming back into the clutch.
I want Alex to cough on me at this point if this is what it takes to have performances like he's had in these past couple of days. I imagine he can't be just instantly feeling healthy again, right? Like he's got to be somewhat at the moment.
You'd think.
You'd think. He's still fragging.
Wow.
He's still looking amazing.
Maybe he just wants that much extra credit, you know?
Oh, right. Okay. There it is. Sandbag in the interview after the 50 bomb.
Making it look easy. He's now surpassed...
Oh. Ooh. He's a little sick, guys. Yeah. He's a little sick. It's going to happen sometimes.
My legs. Floppy, deep nade.
Oh.
Magix eats it.
Magnetized to Magix. Floppy on the ramp. He was the closer. He was the absolute closer last map they played. This is not the place you want to go. And they'll get him back after doing a tad bit of damage. Cool thing about Floppy is he doesn't always just go downstairs. Sometimes he fights on the ramp before he falls back. Sometimes he goes into sitting on the ramp and then re-aggressing. But he's not an ultra-passive ramp player. He just does his duty in terms of staying alive. And most of the time when he feels like he can fight, he will just stand there on the box and sometimes can get that 2 or 3K spray down.
He's definitely got that multi-kill potential.
So the rotations here from the CTs. I think we're holding on Turnpike, but the Ts are going lower, so they've got a fast flank and 2 lower.
Floppy's just right out in the open. This is such a good angle for catching somebody's headshot off guard. But then once they swarm out, it can be a little overwhelming. They all head the other way. Like a conga line. And iDisbalance comes off of the line to deliver 2 kills. Very nice.
Wow. That was impressive. I am surprised. Actually, once they got out, I was like, okay, yeah, there's too many. The spacing was really good. They were just far enough that it made it awkward for the CTs, and they couldn't catch them in the choke point. So, of course, they get punished, and I'm not surprised Floppy dies there. I'm not even going to chalk it up to luck. It's an angle that iDisbalance knows like the back of his ass. Sprays him down in connector, or in control room, and there's no reason to even attempt the retake.
Gotta let this one slide. Scout Famas M4, that's what Cloud9 are hanging on to. Team Spirit, dogpiling. 5 players up, that's big. iDisbalance wins the round with a couple of swift kills. Had they come out the opposite side, Floppy was looking ready to line him up, but even when he goes for his peek, because of that moment, okay, that's the second kill.
Yeah, just right onto the stairs.
Bam.
It's just return fire. Put tracers through, tracer's gonna come back through.
Full buy, of course, from Cloud9, adding some armored deagles to the mix of what was saved last round. Good early frag damage. could prime Woxic perfectly, as that scout needs a couple body shots to drop what is now 3 of these Ts tagged within that range of lethality. Alex, 2 kills over the top of the smoke, falls back immediately through Mini. We do get an answer from Mir, who is hanging around outside with a teammate who is called back into the action. Magic's with the bomb.
This is tighten up, play one and dones. Yeah, Alex does even some residual damage to Magic's, who falls back now. But with 3 players up, this is a very, very scary round. Of course, they're going to take this and run with it. Alex is in lobby. Floppy is here to create a crossfire with them, and they're seeking out some information. My God, Alex is doing so much damage. A fantastic grenade, it looks like, and some Dying will narrowly avoid it. But it still leaves the remaining CTs in a pretty powerful spot, considering the HP. I think that plays a huge factor. Player advantage at this point, not relevant, but the health. It makes it a questionable round here for the Ts. The Deagles are powered up.
We got to see Mir step it up a little. 6 and 14 for the moment. Oh. He just got given the AK, has the most health to work with. When we recently watched Team Spirit versus Gambit in that finals, man, it was Mir who kind of went missing.
They just go, Estai can hear them.
For sure.
Yeah, so it depends how the rotations went, but they're still in hell. They haven't really moved from their
player
spot.
Back sight. Mezzi's in a prime position, and he is that Bombus. Sure enough, it's Estai who just flies up the vent, adds 2 to the kill feed, and leaves Mezzi to shovel in the last one.
That's a good teammate, you know, because in that moment, Estai could play for himself and wait, but he knows he throws a body at that problem. They're forced to turn. It's not exactly ideal to have to come up the vent, but because he could just cause a distraction, I mean, also doing so much damage, it displaces their aim and allows Mezzi to get that 1v1 and set him up in general. 12-6 off that one. Rough one for Team Spirit, but seriously, Alex, he does so much work out there, boosted up on top of red, and he had this way of getting damage in and then just falling back and making it look so quick and easy, like there was no chance he would even die. Not overcommitting.
Got this deep garage position from Woxic. No op. Same can be said for Team Spirit. They've crossed 2 players into the secret, 2 still on Squeaky, and Mir with bomb floating on Silo. Esatag's already downstairs to try and keep them at bay.
Yep. They're relying on these lower entries for this lurk to be useful outside. However, the lurk has the bomb. So maybe they're just going to turn this into an upper explode.
They actually are able to contest him. He's going to fall all the way back into the B site. Idis Balance finding Alex elsewhere. He tried to get aggressive inside of the hut, it seems. I saw the blood splatter. There's the evidence right there. MP9 trying to get aggressive. I can understand it. Woxic, his position in garage now coming into the equation as Mezzi gets aggressive. And how aggressive, though? That's the question. We've still got 1 player on the opposite side of Squeaky, and he's focused on the lobby push. So SDY, think of him as a separate entity from these 3 Ts walking in through Mini. Mezzi will find the first one, but Chopper and Mir with immediate trade frags pushes Cloud9 into a bit more of an awkward position. We've got Esatag coming up, 7 seconds on the clock. They got it in when they needed. But Floppy, he's been relegated to the vent. Has a flashbang, and he could just fly up here. This is going to be one of those awkward moments that could somehow magically work out, but his flash goes back down on him. Chopper's like, what are you doing? Keeps his crosshair focused, and I think Cloud9 walk away.
Yeah, they've got 2 players low, but they don't really know. And they tried to challenge. I actually think this wasn't an amazing round from Spirit. I think they got some... In the first 30, 40 seconds, they did so much, and then they let the time go way low before making a choice. And at that point, where you could potentially fall apart when they tried to come up Mini. But they got those rotations, right? We're seeing from their X-ray perspective inside the Mini that there's 2 CTs dedicated lower, 1 guy at the bottom of the ladder. This is Cloud9 really buying into the idea that it's going to be a lower hit at some point. But after that, the execution comes in a little bit slowly, and there's a chance for Cloud9 back into the round. A good push from Mezzi to make sure he has that angle on the side of Hut. And the Heaven player comes down to him if he gets his kill or not. But this is what we expect from Team Spirit. Very tricky, meticulous T side where they are a bit atypical, hard to read.
And then when they do decide to make a move, it's when we get those explosive individuals that their opponents do recognize, right? I think people are talking about Team Spirit as real contenders. Alex What? Magic somehow catching the headshot? We do get 2 kills back from Cloud9, but it looked like that hand cannon was just going to stuff him out. Floppy multi-kill as he comes running around from ramp, leaving Chopper to take his initial position. Chopper slipped beyond them, and Woxic knows exactly what's up. So while Chopper does have a bit of timing, he's playing it quietly, thinking maybe they don't know yet. But you can see Cloud9, I believe, dropping down vent. Nope, not yet.
Door's wide open, but he will just run the risk. Plant the bomb and assume he got by unnoticed. Moving into control right now. What's the play for Chopper? The door being open is kind of nice for him. Take an early 1v1 and he'll grab it. It's an instant headshot. Looks for the trading player. That's pretty cool. Like the pre-fire, even though no one's there. Idea's cool. And now Floppy will come in from inside. And the bomb's out in the open, which might make it hard to pre-fire. Let's see what happens as Floppy just gets on it. And we'll see if this becomes a problem. The spray comes in, but it's off.
Ricky, how you going to do it to him?
Yeah.
Throws the smoke down. Doesn't even underhand the flash. No need. Just sticks it all the way through. 3 kills for Floppy in the round. This was his ramp flank. Hit him real quick. Traded out versus Idis balance.
You know, when you smoke plant, it's all about points of reference, right? Sometimes that's why you don't smoke the choke point that they're coming into. You just smoke on the bomb. And if the bomb is not in a normal position, that could be a good chance for you to use a smoke to really remove a lot of the normal points of reference for those spams. And I think that's kind of what we saw there. Floppy just pouncing on the opportunity, really. Uh-oh. Whoa, there's a chance he could die. He'll get out. He'll spot Mir. But there's some pressure outside as well. Woxic will try to make up for it. Dink in, but Chopper wins.
Chopper's winning 2 fights already this round. Both Estetag and Woxic, those are big individuals to take out of this one, but Alex will finish off what Woxic started. Chopper's AK bested the M4. That 1 headshot's all he needed, of course, and, well, Team Spirit finding a route down into B. Where did Floppy get off to?
Oh, he's actually coming back upstairs. So they've got the wrong read on the situation. Ramp's being pressed. It looks like Cloud9 are going to, or they're right now assuming that it's some kind of heaven ramp, and I don't know if they even attempt this now that the players have gone down into the lower site. So much noise being made. Bomb will get planted. CTs still remain upstairs, and it looks like they're just going to head back. Call it a forfeit. 2011 for Alex. Really sick stuff. They're competing. They're kind of battling against each other when it comes to the stat lines, and Alex has had a lot of good performances recently.
Starting to come back into his own. We've had a back-and-forth affair in this second half. No consecutive round wins since the second pistol.
Doesn't exactly bode well for Spirit if that trend continues, so a nice confident win here is great, but having to go up against the guns again from Cloud9 is going to be a treacherous endeavor. We'll see how much they can invest into. It looks like there won't even be another rifle dropped here for Cloud9, so a chance for Spirit to get back in, but with a broken buy in the past, in this half, Cloud9 have won. Just with Alex's plays alone.
This one right here versus Woxic. Takes him down through the fence. He splatters. Let's see if this back and forth really matters or whether Cloud9 can stabilize yet again in a round with lesser weapons.
All right, come on, Team Spirit. It's time to take it up a notch if they're going to make this comeback possible. This could be a cornerstone round to the half if they're able to do it. Cloud9, they're on their bottom dollar. They have to buy an MP9 and a FAMAS. If Spirit can win this, then they'll be in a power position to make this a really tough game to call.
Molotov into the credit card, slips 2 players into garage, bomb included. Also leaves Chopper to go challenging downstairs. Alex, he's just using a sliver peek. Saw the T. Pops the smoke and holds. As the tags reposition here behind Little Blue, this could definitely catch them off guard. Not a position you assume CTs to be in. Magic's crucial trade frag.
That is such a big kill outside. Information on that, and Alex, oh, he's separating the fights. Chopper does not go off this time like he did on the last round. Scary scenes here for Spirit. We're holding off against 14, down 3-4.
They've got Floppy over the back of the A site. Ramp is the solution here. 100% the solution. Alex is still downstairs, yes, but he is the weak point. He's already starting to move over towards control. He's going to hear this, and Cloud9 wasting no time to come rotating downwards. We've already got the terrorist challenging the bomb site. Somebody's going to have to commit to that bomb stick, and right now he's blind. No plant. There's no time. Cloud9, they force the issue. They fumble Team Spirit, who stutter step on site and then get cleared after the clock. 2 kills after time expires. That is... oh, so painful for Spirit.
Yeah, it might be an unrecoverable situation now, says Sumdai Young. He'll get half armor and his teammate can maybe drop him a pistol or something, but he's not going to provide value in terms of nades, and he's only going to be support to the 2 AKs remaining here for Team Spirit. Cloud9 play it well with the help of Alex there in the late round. As you mentioned, Ramp was the answer, but they didn't execute well enough. However, Tech9 explode onto the upper site, and they do all the work.
Nice to see it. You just said a round previously, Mohan. Team Spirit, time to kick it up a notch, and that is absolutely cranking the dial. We have not seen a fiery pace set like that since this T-side started, and it works out wonderfully. Maybe that'll serve them a reminder that they can also get aggressive. You know, they were the victims of those kinds of upper site hits, and now they pull one out, and it works.
Nice to see a couple of different modes of aggression here from Team Spirit to just give it a test upstairs. You know, now Cloud9, they can afford to play light upstairs early because they don't know if Spirit are ever going to try it. And from here on out, because of their round lead, they can try to put more aggressive nades down into the hut and Squeaky and try to punish this kind of play. And that's something that Spirit will have to take into their inventory of different strategies and setups they might expect. But it's a long climb still. They're running out of rope.
What happens when the rope runs out?
Imagine Alex Honnold didn't hit that bicycle kick.
Oh, yeah, okay. Looked like Device on Vertigo yesterday.
Hopefully Spirit don't do their own stunts.
Well, stunting Cloud9 in that last one with the rapid lobby hit. They don't decide to throw it at him a second time in a row. Got Woxic over here towards the double doors now, getting aggressive. He's about to get a face full of chopper. And the wide swing works wonderfully. Estetag already contemplating whether he wants to dive down there. Floppy still has a chance to maybe keep Cloud9 in a contendable position. Oh!
Wait, now the CTs are probably going to think about this. They're all starting to move down lower.
Yep, quick one from Alex.
Just that one kill. Oh, what a flank. He doesn't even have to watch his back here. Is he going to get caught off? He'll almost win his duel, but it's a lot of damage too, and Estetag will win his.
Got that 2v2 ensuing. Mezzi yet to get into the gunfight. Magic's not quite sure what is up or where they're at. We've got another flank, the vent player from SDY. He's going to challenge the side of Mezzi, take it all onto Estetag. And let's see if he's worth that price tag in this clutch. He's got Magic's crossing along the rafters. 2 flashbangs, a frag, and a kit. 2 opponents lie ahead. SDY slams the door shut, but it doesn't cut down his chances. There's a hole in it. He decides to go for the challenge. Falls to 28 HP, and Magix could very well just take him out at the feet if he continues on to contest this. Flash goes out. There's the swing. Good first kill from Estetag. He's looking for the 23rd. A 4K in this round would be clutch, but he's got 2 health left. There's no way he should ever win this. It's not even like an AK where the one-tap headshot would provide. Magix, he's going to go back into the corner, and he shuts this one down. Double digits for Team Spirit.
Good patience. He had actually done the damage that the nade could have killed, but he didn't get it through the door. Got tagged more in that exchange than he dished out. So there is a round for Spirit. It comes close only because of this. It could have been a round-changing kill. It actually brings the CTs in. But it's also a situation where, because it does bring the CTs in, it costs them everything. Maybe they save if not for that one shot. Now, it's an expensive round for Team Spirit, but they don't care. It's all about the round win in their books. Estetag goes down early on this full pistol save, and Team Spirit look to try to stabilize their economy with these kills.
Ooh, yes, please, more of that, Mir. I will absolutely take more of that. Mir still has a chance to come back into this one. Maybe take over a couple of rounds of his own. SDY closes Team Spirit 11. They are closing in on Cloud9.
It's a competitive game, and they've shown that they can win a lot of opening duels, whether it's Chopper outside, sometimes getting 2, and they can actually win the late round as well. We saw some good mid-round situations from them. So it's definitely a competitive map. It's just about how many odds, what are the odds that they can just get through with a flawless half, I guess is the question I'm trying to pose. Wow, that was difficult.
Yeah, you got there in the end.
There's still a better word out there somewhere for what I was trying to say. But either way, SDY dies again outside. And again, he is such a key piece to their outside setups. He's always in somewhere new, manufacturing a kill. But now Alex is also playing that role. Uh-oh.
Seen just now by Magix. Yeah, sure enough, too many players to hold back on his own. And the smoke grenades left him on his own. You saw Woxic trying to rattle off some rounds through it, but didn't quite achieve too much. Cloud9 facing a 3v5. And SDY about to emerge from the smoke. Will he emerge victorious as well? Absolutely. As Mezzi falls out to this duel. We've seen him in similar spots. That smoke grenade fading. Not his favorite position to be in, it seems. 2 CTs still left, and Team Spirit shooting for a 12th.
Might be a freebie for Floppy, or maybe not. Okay, Woxic will help him, but then that's the 2 CTs showing themselves, and it allows Team Spirit to go upstairs more quickly. It's funny how that works, right? Like if Floppy just shows himself, they might have they might slow down a little bit, but as soon as that second rifle comes in, that's the information they need, and that's why you see teams making info plays like that, sacrificing a player for a site.
And a second. Woxic. What? This is a winnable situation. Woxic, he just spun around like a turret. He's got 4 kills. He's on for the ace, and it gets shut down by eye disbalance. Why, God? Why take it from us?
He even shook his crosshair like his team was joking about winning this round, and then ended up almost winning the round. That was actually nasty. He's actually struggled to have good rifle impact, I'd say, so far this game, but this just shows he's still on point completely. Chopper winning a couple times versus him outside, and yeah, overall, a tiny bit of a struggle, but that brings him up a little bit.
$2 million man. SDY has many MVPs at half, as Team Spirit did. I read that as half-assed. I'm so sorry. I didn't read it before I read it.
Yeah, and, barely even tried. It was half-assed.
Yeah.
Got that many MVPs.
Apologies, everyone. I'm leaving the desk now.
I said half. I said ass at one point in the first half.
I think we're allowed to.
Are we allowed to?
Well, we did it.
Please don't fire me.
Your mic still work? I'm sick.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sick. I just say ass all the time. Cloud9, 14-12, they'll half invest. This is the point that we're at. Team Spirit actually have put up such a good comeback so far that Cloud9 are in a lose save situation with half investments because of their loss bonus. I think they're maxed out. Not quite sure.
He's been seen.
Here's the empty cross. No smoke, so they can't just listen for this, but they'll make the preemptive rotation. The scary part, of course, about the CT side is they'll just gamble sometimes. And I'm not sure if they know or if they had someone who could hear or if they're just trying to anticipate. But either way, it seems like it could be a good read, though. There's only one person dedicated down here so far. That's Chopper.
They can see the CTs every once in a while, but Cloud9 being very efficient and flimsy.
Oh, the smoke and mini. And Squeaky smoked out. These are the 2 points of attack that Spirit are relying on. This is where they get a bit nervous, to be honest. And they don't want to go back downstairs because they saw so many CTs there. So they have to make a really brave read and hope the CTs have left. 40 seconds left and the CTs are still in position, but Floppy misses his first shot.
And they jump across. So Mezzi also busted. Woxic slips into the dark corner. Ooh, there's Alex with a little something. Chopper's gonna come over here, make sure the AK can't be picked back up. Alex wants it. He will retrieve the AWP and run for the hills. Anticipates SDY, but he still dies regardless. We are looking at Team Spirit being 1 round away from tying this game at 14 apiece. And C9, well, because of that, have yet to secure at least the overtime. You'd have to think they're starting to sweat a little.
Definitely. I think that they've tried outside aggressively a lot. I think that they probably should change it to something with a secret setup for a CT. Wait and see. Double up upstairs, double up ramp, and have a player play secret potentially, or S-Tag goes down ramp or vent again instead of fighting outside, because it feels like that's not had much success for them. And right now they've still got Woxic kind of spotting the cross, but I feel like they haven't had to worry too much about the Heaven wrap, so I'm not sure what they assume is on the horizon. In Team Spirit, it looks like they're going to try something new, which may be scary for Team Spirit, may be scary for Cloud9, because we've seen their outside stuff work the best.
Throw a couple other players back towards spawn just to throw that utility. Whether they work beyond it, of course, is the question that Cloud9 have to ask themselves. We'll be privy to the knowledge.
They don't respect the smokes here, so we just pay attention to the minimap to see how the CTs respond, and it looks like they're not too scared at all. They're going to stay focused on the upstairs site.
Yep. So a little delayed burst, perhaps. S-Tag throwing the frag in as if they're setting up inside of Squeaky. Not the case. They're still on the lobby side of this. So it's Hut that's in question. Mezzi will deliver, and he hits the dink despite being blind. It is a rock-solid hold, and a headshot comes in from Woxic. Cloud9 tested with something different, but Team Spirit unsuccessful with pulling it off. And now it's just one op that's left over. I thought for a second maybe Mezzi, so blinded, was going to be the weak piece. But he hit that dink shot, recovered. Now they're looking to close. iDisbalance denies Floppy his exit to the heavens, but Cloud9 will secure overtime at least.
That was a really nice round for Messi. I mean, because he continues the spray on, closes his eyes like a Jordan at the free throw line and still nails that headshot, and then readjusts with the last few remaining bullets, doesn't go for cover, and finishes off his prey. That's a big round for Messi for that perspective, but I still have hesitations about the round.
Samdar Young's Deagle is called $700 equals $4,750. Is that the same price?
His Deagle is an op, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Deagle is
got ya.
an op.
The only thing is, you see S-Tag, he's sitting in upstairs site looking at Mini, so they don't have info outside, which I kind of said, like, maybe they don't want to fight outside, but it's still an uncomfortable situation. They're still relying on the two players who would normally rotate to hold down upstairs. So it's a little bit scary. And that's the only reason I'm saying that is just that Team Spirit, I still believe, good chance they could pull this back, bring it to OT potentially. I think they have Cloud9 a little bit scared and starting to think about gambling as opposed to seeking out info, which is usually a good sign for the T's.
Cloud9 calling out the bluff last round outside. Look at that same wall of smokes, and S-Tag currently occupied with it. This time, though, there is a weaker A site. They don't have S-Tag inside of Mini until now. So the hit starts to come in. Magic's tagged up by the frag grenade. Good utility damage versus Mezzi. iDisbalance. Wait, how does he land that op shot? Magic's, he's going to take another headshot. And this is a 5 versus 3. Mir's going to be creeping around the smoke, caught out by S-Tag. He could push into the lobby, but that's where iDisbalance is going to catch him. And we've got Team Spirit on the comeback. I need to know, iDisbalance gets an assist on Mezzi, who's playing default site, but the first person to exit, of course, was Magic.
He was still in Hut, or he's still back in lobby.
So did he wallbang through Hut to deal that damage?
To the side of the silo? Yeah, I don't know. I guess he must have. Messi played that exact same position. That would be a cool one to watch back if we have that replay. Hopefully we do.
Because Mezzi being so wounded, I mean, you saw Mezzi with the spray last round. He was the solution to the Hut play. This time he's so hit that he just dives back into cover, and Magix makes all of the room he can off of the back of it. We get a little parting gift here as Alex shuts down SDY. How did they succeed in that A site?
Oh, but this is a bit scary too. So I guess we're just... No, he gets the flash assist. Did he get the damage assist? Mezzi? No. Just the flash assist, I think. He didn't get a damage assist.
No, he didn't get a damage assist, but he had, Mezzi was on like 15 HP by the time Magix comes out. Maybe he hit him with his own headshot through the wall.
Not sure. Maybe it cancels. Maybe it puts both the icons. Who knows? We'll never know. That's between him and Gavin, I guess. All right. Well, last round of the game, potentially. Cloud9 looking to win a CT round in a world where Spirit have made an enormous comeback. They have done well to win that upstairs round. Woxic hits an opening. This is the first 5v4 Cloud9 have had in a while, I feel like, apart from the upstairs hold 2 rounds ago. Outside of that, most of the time it's been Spirit having so much success. Alex also pulls off the lobby push, and look how freely he's moving around. He has a perfect read on the situation now with that information, and Spirit don't know. He's got it. Oh my goodness gracious. That flank, just to let him know, we're in your spawn.
Chopper in all of this comeback from Team Spirit to fall at the final hurdle. Alex disrespecting them in the 30th round. I mean, losing out that first kill, still recoverable. Woxic, he took the shot, fell all the way back. Team Spirit still had that lower sight contested. But Alex walking into lobby, finding the only player in there, and like you said, just taking to the rooftops, no respect. iDisbalance could already be dead had Alex followed up with an additional headshot. He's given a little bit of a chance. 20 seconds remain, and Alex nearly killed as he dived back behind the vent, but he escaped with the smoke at the feet of Mir. 15 seconds on this clock and a desperate attempt at an A-site hit. Not going too well. Alex and Essetag, they close this out, and Cloud9, another map where they have an excellent first half and start to stutter in the second. Team Spirit are very much a challenger in this series.
Yeah, and unlike versus ends, it's less like, what are Cloud9 doing? And more like, okay, Spirit, you're actually doing some really cool stuff to earn yourself some comebacks.
And we're absolutely not surprised to see it as well. Spirit are truly a contender, and it's their map Dust 2 coming up shortly. But before that, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're talking about Nuke. Cloud9 looked like they might lose control before the map was closed out. But thankfully, a poorly Alex did not play poorly. In fact, he actually topped the server overall, 27 for 16 throughout that entire match, ably assisted by Essetag and the rest of his team. And you know what? It was a bit more of a challenge on the second half, Launders.
I think there are teams that you bring that up. I think there are teams that might have trouble respecting an IGL that can't frag. I think we all think of a couple rosters out there. But Cloud9 don't strike me as that bunch. With all the players that they have and their personalities, it seems like they'd work well despite that. And I always looked at Cloud9 as a team who was going to come in that weren't going to lean on Alex in terms of fragging capability at all. But lately, they have been, and he's been making some key and pivotal plays. He's making himself a player who, outside of calling, is hard to replace because of the positions that he gets into on the CT side.
I think there's a contrast to be made between Alexi B and Alex because they are both fragging IGLs. But sometimes when I watch OG, I feel like Alexi B is just like, well, I'm going to get it done because my team
rounds
necessarily
are based around
isn't.
Alexi.
Yeah, they're all based around him. Whereas with Alex, it seems like he knows how to get into the right place at the right time as opposed to trying to take on things that he wants the rest of his team to do.
Alexi B is kind of like if Alige was calling almost. Like Alige does aggressive lurks all the time, and so does Alexi. And he has these key smokes that land inside sites that they take. So sometimes rounds are based around a key kill that he's going to go for, kind of like an Art, kind of like Kerrigan these days. So that's their style. And with Alex, it feels like it's more of that on CT side than it is on T side, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, overall, that second half, to think about that, I do want to say it's not like the Ents game in the sense that it really looked bad for Cloud9 in that Ents game. In this game, it just looked like Spirit were really dominating outside, and then Cloud9 were forced to respect that and then won a few key passive rounds.
Were they a little bit slow to adapt on the CT side? Because their T side, when they got found out, they just had a new game plan. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, we had that back and forth between Cloud9 and Spirit to start Spirit's T half, right? How many unconsecutive rounds? Something like 6 or 7. And then finally, we saw Spirit stabilize economically. They put together that string of rounds. Everything's looking good for them. They had all the tools they needed finally. So, you know, adaptation, yeah, maybe it was a little late. Maybe it took a bit of time to read Team Spirit. Team Spirit do fall silent very nicely in mid-round moments and kind of leave you guessing. And I think it's for that reason Alex did kind of take an Alexi B. He did get aggressive inside of lobby to close out that game, to challenge them from the top of silo. So once Alex decided that he needed to make the moves on his own accord, everything seemed all right for Cloud9 and they closed.
There was a lot to love about that T-side from Cloud9 as well.
I think so too. It was just like entirely the game plan. I think we saw yesterday, like Furia versus G2, to draw a comparison. Furia got a strong start, and then as soon as G2 adapted, they started winning rounds, and Furia didn't have a next level to their game plan that could keep up. Whereas in this game, we saw Cloud9 on their T side come through and abuse the upstairs site, but then when that started failing early, they changed their game plan and then still continued to win. So they showed that they can win on multiple levels.
We're going to Dust 2 next. This is Spirit's map pick. But Cloud9, again, okay, so they had some issues on the T side, but their CT side looked so good in their last matchup. So I feel like this could be quite an even one.
The real difficult part and strength for Cloud9 is the Floppy as attack combo in the B site. Floppy is just insane on these anchor positions when it comes to stopping mid to B plays. And every team in the world on Dust 2 wants to have 6 players, so you can have 1 at mid, 2 in B, and 3 on A. But right now, the meta is normally to play 2-3 entirely, rarely having 1 player mid. And Floppy makes up for that player they wish they had at mid.
And so does Alex. I mean, 2 back-to-back performances on Dust 2, where on the CT side specifically, he feels like 2 players.
Right, yeah.
So he's going to be on the opposite side, kind of floating around in CT spawn, challenging middle, peppering them. And I would say, like, if Alex had not performed on Nuke, maybe Spirit would have been able to slip this by them, but they know he's on point right now, and I think that bodes well for C9.
Well, we're going to rush on into a break right now, because when we come back, we're going to be heading to Dust 2.